All right, here's a question from Alex. When your business is highly dependent on equipment, should you aim to own it outright? Is there a healthy equity versus loan ratio? Is it wise to afford the best that we can through finance? We've got 3 big buses. One we own outright, but it's old and showing its age, costs a lot more, versus a new one that I can foresee any maintenance costs. I guess you're saying a new one that would foresee no maintenance costs and service plans and warranty. Of course, we all love the new bus smell, and new is stylish and presents well, but what would the wise people do? At some point, I will have to replace the old, and if it's a good move, I'm ready to do it now. Well, it's a good question, Alex, and for you it's buses, and for other people it's vehicles and cars and tools and things like that. I guess if, without knowing all of the particulars of how much you're going to pay out and so forth, for me, it comes down to how it presents. I'm not a fan of debt for debt's sake. I'm also not averse to debt if I thought buying a new bus was the way to go. For me, it comes down to this. Every dollar needs to be like a little soldier that goes out and brings me some more back. All right? So if having a newer, shinier bus does not achieve that outcome, then I would not be. If it's not a commercial outcome, then I wouldn't do it. Okay? If I'm losing big time because I don't have the new bus, then I would consider doing it because the trade-off of the payment would be much smaller than the trade-off of growing my business. But in most cases, customers don't necessarily need the best, they just need you to deliver, okay? So if your brand is predicated on elite, right? If your brand is predicated on being the best, total innovation, like that, then you don't have a choice. You're going to have to do that. But very few brands are built on being the Rolls Royce of their industry. If that's not your brand and your brand is we're honest, we're integrous, we deliver, then I wouldn't spend that money. If what I've got right now does the job, because the other thing to bear in mind is the customer doesn't always have a frame of reference about what's good or what's bad. So they don't know what a brand new bus looks like or whatever, right? So if they don't know, then they're totally happy with a clean bus that's a little bit older. So if that's the case, I wouldn't spend the money on a new bus. I would want to milk my current buses, tools, equipment for all they're worth before I went on and invested any more money. Okay, that would be the baseline for me. Like if we're talking about cars for people, like most people upgrade their car way too soon. They don't need to, nobody else cares, the customer doesn't even notice what car you drive, the customer does not care. But upgrading your car and adding a $300 a month extra car payment is just a stupid idea when the customer doesn't care. Okay, because you could have spent that money on much smarter things like getting a VA to do your admin, Facebook ads, Google ads, whatever. Okay, so I'm always don't spend money. That's my baseline, don't spend money. And then if I do, it has to make me more money. It has to be an investment that gives me a cash return on more money. That's the way I approach expenditure in business. I hope that helps, Alex. Did you know that this show goes onto Facebook, it goes onto YouTube, it goes onto Instagram, it goes onto iTunes, and it goes onto LinkedIn? Do me a favor, would you? Tell more people about the show so that I can spread the message. Love ya. See ya.